Welcome back. The Oyo State House of Assembly has passed the bill establishing the State Security Network Agency, codenamed Amotekun, into law. The passage comes after a presentation of the report of the House Committee on Security and Special Duties at plenary. Meanwhile, lawmakers in Osun, Ogun and Lagos State Houses of Assembly also deliberated on the bills establishing the security outfits in their various states. After the initial controversy that trailed its establishment in January 2020, it appears the Southwest Security Network, popularly called Amotekun, is beginning to find its space in the region, as states are taking steps to provide a legal framework for its eventual takeoff. To drive home this point, members of the Oyo State House of Assembly marched into the complex all dressed in attires resembling the leopard skin to deliberate on and subsequently pass the bill establishing the State Security Network Agency, codenamed Amotekun, into law. At the end of deliberations, the Speaker, Mr. Adebo Ogundoyin, gives an insight into what the exercise hopes to achieve.
These outfits will be responsible for rapid economic development in terms of agriculture, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of peace and stability.
In neighboring Osun State, lawmakers also deliberated on the Security Network and Amotekun Core Establishment Bill. Like their counterparts in Oyo State, they wasted no time in passing the bill into law.
If you look at the bill properly, there is an area in which the appointment of a corps commander has to be referred to the House of Assembly for confirmation. It's part of the oversight functions from the Assembly. That is, we have not give all the power to executive to select or to appoint who becomes the commander in the Amotekun Corps.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State House of Assembly also joined the League of States to fast-track the bill on the Southwest security after it was read for the third time.
A bill for a law to abet Lagos State Neighborhood Safety Corps Agency Law 2019 be passed into law. All in favor say aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it.
As it stands now, Oyo, Osun, Lagos and Ogun states have all taken steps to change the security architecture of the Southwest region after subjecting the bill establishing the security network to rigorous legislative scrutiny. Time now for business news. Here's BC Adebayo.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development warns that the coronavirus outbreak is plunging the world economy into its worst downturn since the global financial crisis. The organization has asked governments and central banks to fight back to avoid an even steeper slump. The OECD, in an update of its outlook, says the global economy is set to grow only 2.4% this year, the lowest since 2009 and down from an earlier forecast of 2.9% in November. The Paris-based Policy Forum projects the global economy could recover to 3.3% in 2021, assuming the epidemic peaked in China in the first quarter of this year and other outbreaks proved mild and contained. However, the OECD says if the virus spreads throughout Asia, Europe and North America, global growth could drop as low as 1.5% this year. The Nigerian Stock Exchange made history today as members and regulators voted unanimously for resolutions in favor of its public structure plans, otherwise known as demutualization. At the court-ordered meeting today, members agreed to the re-registration of the exchange as Nigerian Exchange Group, PLC, and the transfer of its securities exchange license and other assets required to carry out the securities function to Nigerian Exchange Limited. Approval was also given to establish a separate subsidiary company to be charged with the regulatory functions of the exchange post-demutualization to be called NGX Regulation Limited.
We've operated for the past 60 years as a club of sorts. The profits, the surpluses the exchange has made is forbidden to be distributed. Now, we have changed the species, the animal of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and we are now entering the for-profit space. So you're going to see a more competitive Nigerian Stock Exchange. You're going to see our governance structure strengthened. You're going to see employment, an increase in employment, because obviously with the new structure, we're going to have to recruit more personnel. And more importantly, you're going to see an exchange that has a Pan-African vision implement that strategy.
We would take the documentation from these meetings to CAC and SEC, get the CTC version from the CAC and go back to the court to get a court sanction. And then with that court sanction, we'll go back to CAC and to SEC and get final approvals. And then we'll also register the shares with SEC. And then we'll credit the shares to the members. And at that point, they can hold, buy, sell over the counter because the shares belong, it's a PLC shares. And then the exchange itself will go into a process of unbundling and restructuring through a change management process.
Meanwhile, investors at the Nigerian equities market gained over 200 billion naira today as all-share index climbed 1.7%, closing above the 26,000 level. Ekaite Afia has the rest of today's trading figures.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. At the stock market today, investors took advantage of the heavy sell-offs recorded on banking and consumer goods stocks on Monday, as both counters turned out gains of 7.99 and 1.97% each. The increases from those counters and MTN Nigeria pushed the all-share index back to the 26,000 level by 1.70%. Just like in Monday's trading session, GT Bank was the most traded stock in terms of volume and value, followed by Zenith Bank and UBA. Total volume of deals traded today were higher compared to previous sessions, as 387.89 million shares worth 5.07 billion naira changed hands in almost 5,000 deals. Now, these are the top 3 gainers and losers for the day. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Ekaite Afia.
Thanks, Ekaite. And stocks on Wall Street fell in volatile trading today after the Federal Reserve slashed interest rates by 0.5% in an emergency effort to stem slower economic growth from the coronavirus outbreak. Let's take a look at some of today's numbers. And that's it on Business News. It's back to you, Amarachi.
Banking, so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thanks, Bessie. Not quite done with business news yet. If you're a businessman or big investor looking to invest in the Nigerian economy, it's time to do so. So says the central bank governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, who says low interest regime policy of the federal government is enough reason for anyone to do so. Mr. Emefiele gave the assurance while on a tour of the Dangote refinery in Lagos.
If you are still in doubt, here is a firing evidence. At the Dangote refinery complex, the fertilizer plant is undergoing a test run. The popular saying, they say put your money where your mouth is. The CBN governor is visiting the complex 7 times the size of Victoria Island to examine the extent of work these years. Inch by inch, columns by columns, thousands of hours of manpower. The complex is fast standing as a colossus. For over 3 hours, they crisscrossed the breadth and length of the 3-in-1 complex, including a built-up jetty.
This project is so strategically positioned that it will even make the final cost, the final price of petroleum within Nigeria, even outside Nigeria, to even be lower than those import alternatives that come from different parts of the world. We will want to support any Nigerian or any foreigner who feels that he finds Nigeria as a good investment destination, whatever we need to do to help you, we will do it.
The audacious move by Africa's richest man is not without immense benefit to Nigeria and the international market.
Nigeria now will become the biggest and maybe even only urea exporter country in sub-Saharan Africa for the first time. Nigeria will end up between us and Indorama is going to be almost about 4.5 to 5 million tons of urea. Okay, I mean, which means fertilizer. Number two, we will have polypropylene, polyethylene, which is about 1.3 billion. These two products alone will bring in something like about $2.5 billion, dollars in terms of foreign exchange.
Everything plastic-based requirement that Nigeria may need will meet a match here. Every fertilizer need, and indeed enough to cater for the petroleum product needs. This complex is well calibrated to respond.
Elizabeth University is sending 8 of its engineering students to Israel, where they're expected to gain exciting experience from a renowned hub for developments in science and technology. The school says it is introducing the exchange program to prepare students for leadership positions by providing them with skills needed to transform their passion into action.
All said and done, these students of Elizabeth University are embarking on a journey they say they'll cherish for the rest of their lives. It's the first for the school, and they are the pioneers set to embark on the learning adventure. The founder of the school, Chief Michael Adeojo, encourages the students to be part of the creative solutions to Nigeria's economic and societal problems.
I hope this little beginning will be profitable to all of us. I want to remind you, students, that you are going as our ambassadors. So I want to say on behalf of the parents.
Words of encouragement also come from the parents. The university is seeking to extend learning experiences of their students beyond the classrooms, exposing them to cultural and idea exchanges.
Our students will go abroad, have hands-on practical experience, and they bring the knowledge back home and impart that knowledge on their peers. And by so doing, knowledge is passed across. So they will return after 3 months, and whatever exams they take, the credits will be sent to us, and we are going to use it as part of their degree programs.
The university management says the school is dedicated to producing graduates with the appropriate skills and knowledge for the development of the nation and global competitiveness.
Israel provides an excellent place to learn engineering development and technology, because Israel is a wonder country. Israel is a place that turns a desert into a productive agricultural land. The principal reason we are doing this is to further educate our people in another environment and to promote cross-pollination of ideas.
As these youngsters leave the country for new learning experiences, the university says it's working on extending the scheme to other programs at the school for more students to benefit.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Iran temporarily frees over 54,000 prisoners as part of measures to combat the new coronavirus spread. Stay with us.